Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Two of the largest immigration detention facilities in the state are under new ownership, including one in San Diego County. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. The private company, Civic, says it has sold the Immigration Detention Center in Otay Mesa. The buyer is the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, which also bought another center in Kern County. Civic says the two sites went for $1.5 billion. The Otay Mesa Center has been the subject of an ongoing legal fight over living conditions. San Diego County officials sued the federal government and Civic in March, claiming health inspectors were blocked from conducting a full inspection. A federal judge later granted health officials access. Civic says it expects to keep managing both facilities under its existing contracts. Last week, President Donald Trump refused to renew the USMCA. That's the trade agreement between the United States, Canada, and Mexico, worth trillions of dollars a year. KPBS reporter Gustavo Solis spoke with business leaders about what that means for San Diego's cross-border economy.
With the USMCA, a truly groundbreaking achievement.
President Trump negotiated the USMCA in 2018, calling it the best and most important trade deal ever made. Last week, Trump canceled the agreement, citing concerns about trade deficits. Chris Cate is the CEO of the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce. He says this could have a massive impact on everything from cars and electronics to medical devices and even children's toys.
If you look at San Diego and Imperial counties, we export nearly $35 billion worth of goods to Mexico annually, and that supports 95,000 jobs in our region. So that's a huge economic boom that's based off of USMCA.
By not extending the USMCA, the Trump administration introduced annual trade reviews, meaning the price of exports could change in a given year. These annual reviews present a lot of regulatory uncertainty and complicate long-term planning for businesses, according to Cate.
There are many businesses who are going to be reluctant to invest heavily in jobs and the economy and trade that USMCA has come to be defined by.
Cate is worried that businesses will just take their investments elsewhere. Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.
FIFA stunned the soccer world by allowing Team USA's top scorer to play in tonight's World Cup elimination match against Belgium. The reversal follows a call from President Trump to the head of FIFA. Michael Yoshida joins us from Washington with the latest on this extraordinary twist and the political storm it has created. Michael.
Hi there, Maya. What a wild turn of events. U.S. soccer fans, they're loving it, while pretty much the rest of the soccer world are up in arms, raising questions about rules consistency, integrity, and potentially political interference.
A stunning reversal. U.S. soccer player Folarin Balogun ruled eligible to play in the team's knockout clash against Belgium.
This is something that feels ripped from the WWE. It seems almost outlandish, insane that this man has been cleared.
The star striker was set to serve a one-game ban after getting a red card in the team's last match. At the time, many agreed the red card was questionable at best, but FIFA, the International Football Association that runs the World Cup, stood by the call, saying there was no route to appeal the suspension and Balogun would be unavailable in the next game. Then President Trump made his own call to the FIFA president.
I asked for a review because I didn't think it was a foul. And, again, I'm good at this stuff.
Sunday, several days after that call, FIFA's disciplinary committee said it was using an obscure rule to suspend Balogun's automatic one-match ban.
On the one hand, a wrong has been righted because it wasn't a red card by any sensible reading of the rules or of the play, but now a new wrong has been enacted in doing this.
FIFA has offered little explanation for its decision, fueling criticism that an exception was made for the U.S. star after Trump complained.
This is unprecedented. To have the President of the United States involved in a field of play decision.
Belgium challenged the ruling, but FIFA denied their appeal, claiming Belgium has no standing, as many soccer organizations and fans from across the globe cry foul.
Definitely think that Trump played a trump card.
Then everybody gets a red card, everybody has the right to go to the president and ask for help? I don't know.
Now, Michael, President Trump and the FIFA president have what's been described as a cozy relationship. So can you break down for us how it's playing into this controversy?
For sure. No question, the relationship between these two men at the heart of a lot of the conversations around this decision. You mentioned some describe it as cozy. Others have described it as sort of a bromance, as the two have been seen side by side quite often over the last few years. You talk about when Trump was reelected to president, Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, he put out a statement at the time saying, "Together we will make not only America great again, but also the entire world." He also awarded Trump the inaugural FIFA Peace Prize ahead of this year's World Cup. So this friendship, this relationship, really a big part of this story as people are looking for answers as to how this decision was made.
Yeah, certainly. And tonight's match against Belgium is one of the biggest in Team USA's history. Can you tell us more about the matchup?
There's just so much on the line in tonight's matchup between the U.S. and Belgium. You talk about what's on the line, a chance to get to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. And when you talk about U.S. men's soccer history, they've only made it to the quarterfinals once since 1930, that last time being in 2002. So a big chance to go far into this tournament. Then you throw in the matchup with Belgium. They've beaten Team USA the last 6 times they've played, including back in the 2014 World Cup when they knocked the USA out of the tournament in the round of 16, the same round we're in right now. So a lot on the line, a lot of history here, and a lot of drama being added to this matchup with this wild ruling in turn of events from FIFA.
Yeah, well, I've been speaking to Michael Yoshida in Washington. Michael, thank you.
Well, it's going to be a hot week, especially in the interior. We'll find a lot of relief near the coast and up into the high elevations. Fire danger is also an issue, but beginning Tuesday and running until 8 p.m. Thursday, you'll notice extreme heat warnings in effect for eastern San Diego County, and also a heat advisory up into parts of at least areas well to our north, up into areas surrounding Los Angeles. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But overnight tonight, still very pleasant for us. No major hurdles, 50s and 60s for most of us. Details ahead.
The city of San Diego is spending less money on homeless support this year. In this week's Why It Matters, Voice of San Diego's Mariana Martinez-Barba explains new tax revenue hasn't helped as expected.
Residents voted 6 years ago to increase taxes to fix city streets, expand the convention center, and crucially, to provide homelessness services. Here was an advertisement run by supporters of the campaign in 2020, featuring the leader of Father Joe's Villages.
We have over 8,000 individuals on the streets, and we very much need to provide the services that they need as well as the housing. Yes, for Better San Diego, we'll provide those funds.
But 6 years later, city officials are using that money to fill budget gaps and have not added new services for homelessness. After years of litigation, city officials started collecting dollars from Measure C, a 2020 ballot measure last year. The tax promised to add dollars on top of the city's existing homelessness budget. Last fiscal year, city officials allocated about $105 million on homelessness programs and services. This fiscal year, they allocated about $102 million. The ballot measure said revenues will supplement, not replace other sources. But the measure does not require the council adopt a specific plan about spending the money. It said the council has legal authority to do what it wants. Proponents of the measure said this language was vague on purpose. It allows city officials to use the dollars how they see fit. But not everyone was convinced. Back in 2020, a homelessness advocate named Michael McConnell put hundreds of thousands of his own dollars in campaigning against the measure. He said there was no guarantee of a net increase in homelessness funding with Measure C. His predictions came true. This year, the City Council made several cuts to close a $118 million budget deficit. In his initial budget, Mayor Todd Gloria said that even with help from Measure C, the city still faced a significant fiscal challenge. I'm Mariana Martinez Barba for Voice of San Diego, and that's why it matters.
A city spokesperson tells our partners at Voice that Measure C revenue does allow them to sustain homeless services by relieving strain on the city's general fund. And Voice of San Diego is one of our partners for the Public Matters Initiative. You can learn more at kpbs.org/Public Matters.
I'm Amna Nawaz. Tonight on the News Hour, NATO allies convene in Turkey with promises to increase military spending amid growing pressure from President Trump. That's coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
Medicare is proposing changes that could make conversations about end-of-life care preferences more common. The new rule would require hospitals to report whether those conversations are documented. KPBS health reporter Heidi DeMarco spoke with doctors who say people are waiting until they are in crisis to make their wishes known.
Not having end-of-life conversations is a disservice to patients, says Dr. Ian Neal.
I cannot count the number of times when I was working in an ICU and a discussion had been had about, should we really be doing this? And making those decisions at the moment are impossible, and it ultimately leads to more negative outcomes for patients.
Only about 1 in 3 U.S. adults has documented their end-of-life care wishes. Doctors say the gap reflects how late these conversations are happening. Dr. Vishka Lakshman runs the palliative care department at Scripps Health.
And unfortunately, these conversations are not happening early enough. And honestly, anyone who's 18 and above should really be having a conversation about what they would want regarding their health and types of treatments that they would want.
The new Medicare requirement would begin in 2028. It would include advanced directives, do not resuscitate orders, and medical power of attorney forms. Neil is a geriatrician at UC San Diego Health. He says the change could help make those conversations more consistent.
The hope would be that it's more streamlined because it really is different hospital to hospital and even provider to provider.
Both physicians say the goal isn't simply to document a patient's wishes, it's to make sure those conversations are meaningful.
That's always the caution when we have something that becomes a new policy is, are we doing it just to complete the policy, or are we doing it for the good of the patient? And that's what we really hope, is that with a policy that it doesn't just become another box to check.
Lakshman says patients don't have to make every decision all at once.
I think having patients understand that what they say today is not set in stone, but could be an evolving conversation over time.
The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services is expected to make a final decision on the proposal later this summer. Heidi DeMarco, KPBS News.
Does pollen make you sneeze? Have you noticed it getting worse this year? San Diego recently ranked second in the nation on a list of allergy capitals. KPBS reporter Jacob Ayer has a look at why and what people can do to improve their symptoms.
Usually it's springtime when pollen allergies cause itchy eyes, sneezing, and nasal congestion. But those symptoms can also stretch well into the warm summer months and beyond. Recent data show those allergens have been a lot worse than normal in San Diego.
Our patients have definitely complained of feeling their symptoms much more in the last few years.
A 2026 Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America report says San Diego went from third best to second worst large city for people dealing with allergies. Dr. Christine James is an allergist and immunologist with UC San Diego Health.
From what we saw with our pollen seasons, we saw that they were peaking earlier. The amount of pollen that was being produced was larger, and then the seasons themselves were lasting longer.
Compared to previous years, more cities in the West landed in the top 20 allergy capitals. The report says that's in part due to climate change. Weather occurrences like atmospheric rivers, warmer temperatures, and drought play a factor in pollen production. James says what sets San Diego apart is the lack of a true cold winter season,
I think the way to think about the seasons, trees in San Diego really come up in December, January. They go through spring. Then you have your grasses that will come up in late spring and go through summer. And then weeds will come up in kind of late summer and go through fall.
Because of climate change, storms are becoming more extreme, and atmospheric rivers are likely to drop large amounts of water at once. Scripps Clinic Allergy Center Director Dr. Ronald Simon says this weather shift is tied to the main culprit for San Diego's increased pollen count.
I think the reason why the weeds have really jumped up, and I think that's the thing that's made the biggest difference, are the way we have our rains now.
Allergists say there are ways to help with exposure. That includes tracking pollen forecasts through websites and apps and staying indoors when counts are high. They also recommend wearing sunglasses, hats, and even masks as needed, and immediately washing clothes after spending time outside.
These pollens are allergenic because they're very light. They can get blown for miles and miles and then get into our noses, eyes, and things like that. So it's not so much what you have growing in your yard or the neighbor's yard. These things are really coming from canyons.
Allergists say antihistamines, nasal sprays, and sinus rinses with saline water can help treat allergy symptoms. This recent pollen count shift may not be permanent, but Simon says it could be a continuing trend due to long-term effects from climate change. Jacob Ayer, KPBS News.
Carlsbad will soon be a home to a new park honoring veterans. KPBS North County reporter Alexander Nguyen takes us to today's groundbreaking for Veterans Memorial Park.
Hey! This moment was years in the making. The city started the master plan for the park in 2018.
Where they say nothing happens quickly in government.
Carlsbad Mayor Keith Blackburn says that will soon change because construction is about to start.
You're going to see some dirt being moved very soon, and I think within 2 years we're going to have a park to enjoy.
At nearly 94 acres, it will be the city's largest park and the first to honor the nation's veterans.
I got kind of emotional over this one. But
Councilmember Kevin Shin represents the district where the park is located. He is also a Marine Corps veteran.
Not just represent this area in District 2 like you're saying, but to represent all veterans in this park at the heart of my district is just something that I can't even measure with words.
The park will include a Veterans Memorial Plaza, the city's first bike park, and a community gathering place. Nick Stupin is the park's planning manager for the city of Carlsbad.
The park will be a great family-oriented design that will have an inclusive playground, 2 other playgrounds, fitness areas, a great set of staircase.
And in the northwest corner of the park will be this, a sculpture called the Ring. And with the opening facing the lagoon, it is supposed to be a place for reflection.
And then to help frame that view for that ring, we'll have some mounding along either edge of the ring, and that will really focus everyone's view right out to the lagoon.
The park was designed based on community input. Construction is expected to be completed July 2028. In Carlsbad, Alexander Nguyen, KPBS News.
Well, we've had a hot week across the interior. Inland areas, deserts, sizzling as we step through the middle and latter part of this week. Increasingly hot through midweek. Wednesday and Thursday will be very unpleasant in some of the interior deserts. Also, there will be a heightened fire danger or fire risk in parts of the mountains as the winds will be a little bit active. Not terribly strong, but it will be a bit breezy. It's very dry out there. That heat with the absence of moisture, when you have a lot of very hot air and not much moisture, your relative humidity is really low, so there is some tender dry vegetation, and we're not going to see a drop of rain. We are deep into the dry season now. Some low clouds tonight. Near the coast, we will see some of those marine layer clouds return each night. 66 for your low. But it becomes a toasty time here across the interior on Tuesday. Very warm weather. Storms into the southern Rockies, but not for any of us. Even in the mountains near Mount Laguna, we stay dry. And we'll be around 78 in Mount Laguna, but 108 in Borrego Springs. It's that time of the year when the heat builds. It really builds here into the interior deserts. We'll be around 83 at Escondido, but 92 in Ramona. Oceanside 75, San Diego 74 degrees. And again, beginning Tuesday and running through Thursday at 8 p.m., we have heat advisories from Temecula to Riverside, up into parts of Los Angeles, and then also into the interior, an extreme heat warning for inland portions, far eastern parts of San Diego County. It'll be a SoCal sizzle in the interior through Wednesday. Storms stay away in the southern Rockies. Thursday, the hot spell continues in inland areas. There's not much day-to-day change other than just the heat with us in the interior. Late this week into early next week, the center of the heat's actually going to begin to migrate a little bit more into the interior. So Salt Lake City is going to be making a run. Their all-time record high is 107. They've been there 4 times. They may be within a few degrees of that, a couple degrees of that by Sunday and Monday. But the heat will actually begin to back off slightly for us near the coast. Coastal areas, here we are, mid to upper 70s. It'll be warm, but the clouds will thicken a bit on Saturday. Into the inland areas, it's warm, mid 80s consistently. Hottest Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Then we find a hint of relief into the weekend as the center of the high pressure systems drifts east and northeast. In the mountains, upper 70s, generally dry. And again, there is some fire danger. And then in the deserts, here we are, 111 on Thursday. It escalates to 111 Thursday. Friday, 107. Saturday, 105 as the core of the heat dome begins to drift up into the Great Basin. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jeff Cornish for KPBS News.
For the 250th birthday of the United States this year, KPBS is looking back on San Diego's own history. The U.S. military can be credited for much of San Diego's last century of growth. KPBS military and veterans reporter Andrew Dyer says it's even true for the region's largest university.
UC San Diego is one of the most recognized research universities in the world. It's where more than 45,000 students attend class and where almost as many people work. What you may not realize is most of the land it's on was once a military base. 2 of them, actually.
The Marine Corps base at San Diego, California, is a 20th century milestone in the evolution of Uncle Sam's most colorful and heroic military unit.
UCSD has always had a special relationship with the military, much closer than most of the other UCs for sure.
Rebecca Jo Plant is a history professor at UCSD. 80 years ago, the land was home to a Marine base called Camp Matthews and an Army base called Camp Callan. Camp Callan only operated during World War II. Now it's the site of Torrey Pines Golf Course and the western edge of the main campus. But it's Camp Matthews that's more tightly connected to the school. Jay Campbell is a Navy veteran and UCSD computer science student. He says he didn't know anything about the campus's history with the military when he transferred in 2 years ago.
Not until I got here, and honestly not until I came to the Student Veterans Resource Center itself.
Campbell now works at the Student Veterans Resource Center, where old photos of Camp Matthews adorn the walls. He says most veterans and other military-connected students are surprised to learn about that history.
Every time. Usually it's passing pictures in the hallway here. They'll be like, what's that? And we're like, well, it used to be us. And now we're, UCSD.
Camp Matthews opened as a rifle range in 1920. Through 1964, more than 1 million Marine recruits marched up from the San Diego Recruit Depot to shoot rifles and pistols. But San Diego was growing, spreading north. In 1964, the recruit ranges moved to Camp Pendleton, and the La Jolla base was handed over to the University of California. What was then the base's main gate is now the site of the new Triton Center. Nestled among the modernist and brutalist buildings of UC San Diego is Building 409. It's one of the last structures original to Camp Matthews. Evidence the Marines were here has whittled away over the decades, giving way to bigger buildings. Early on, the university used the old base infrastructure. Through the 1980s, classes were held in cylinder-shaped World War II-era Quonset huts. Today, there's the popular Che Cafe, built out of relocated Marine buildings. And at the edge of a parking lot on the east side of the medical center, you'll find a lone guard shack. It used to be the back gate of Camp Matthews. Graffiti from Marines on guard duty dating back to World War II is preserved on the walls. Professor Plant says it's a testament to the university's success that it's unrecognizable as a former base.
I mean, it's the typical California story, right? Of not really memorializing the landscape.
She says attachment to old buildings is understandable, but may be misplaced.
It's interesting, like how people remember space. I think the nostalgia is really not just about the buildings, but about a university that was a size and even operated at a pace that is different now.
Plant says the early planners at the City and UC Board of Regents were ambitious, but what's here today goes way beyond even what they envisioned.
I think UCSD and the UC more broadly, the state has gotten a very good return on its investment.
Shannon Barber runs the Student Veterans Center. She points out the land was home to the Kumeyaay people for millennia before the military showed up. She says the Veterans Center isn't going anywhere, and as long as it's here, neither will the memories of Camp Matthews.
I recognize that as campus grows, some things might, no longer be there. Some old buildings might be knocked down, but we have not forgotten, and we will hopefully inform others.
The land that was once Camp Matthews is now home to most of the central campus, the VA hospital, and the medical center. Another unrecognizable remnant, Ridge Walk, through the middle of the UCSD campus, was once the main thoroughfare of U.S. Highway 101. Andrew Dyer, KPBS News.
Here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. Steve Inskeep speaks with USA Today sports columnist Christine Brennan about the World Cup game between the U.S. and Belgium and the lifted suspension of a U.S. star forward. And on KPBS Midday Edition, we speak to a professor and author of a book that examines the history of Filipino nurses in American history. And you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Good night.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.